It's officially been 10 years since I started Uncivil Synopsis on YouTube, and over the course of a decade, I've continued making videos as a hobby with almost no goals besides making videos that make me laugh. As a result, my entire creative journey across these 10 years has been unconventional, to say the least. YouTube created policies limiting monetization for using curse words. I dedicate an entire show recapping video games while I use excessive curse words. Nintendo began copy striking everyone for using their gameplay footage and forcing YouTubers into their shitty partnership program. I create an entire show dedicated to being a Nintendo fanboy designed to avoid the copyright system, never join the partnership program, and call Nintendo stupid for almost half the videos. Tons of YouTubers began blowing up in popularity by playing Fortnite and Minecraft. I made a fan video screaming about how no one bought the Wonderful 101. Dark Souls and Undertale become massively popular and explode onto the scene. I make a highly detailed hour-long critique of both games, only to trick people into watching the last 10 minutes of the video, where I call Dark Souls and Undertale fans fucking idiots who don't even understand why those games were good. Zelda fans speculate on timeline theories on where Breath of the Wild fits on the Zelda timeline. I release a video talking about why the Zelda timeline doesn't matter, and point out that you'd have to be a fucking idiot not to realize that. Super Smash Bros. Fans have harmless fun and speculate on future DLC characters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I make a video covering all the most popular requested characters from the community and make fun of all of them for an hour and a half. Twice. The Pokemon National Dex controversy blows up on YouTube and everyone makes videos complaining about Game Freak. I make a video talking about why the vast majority of Pokemon fans don't give a shit because Pokemon has always sucked dick. These are just a couple of small highlights of some of the videos I've made over the years, and frankly, no one does YouTube the way I do. For better and for worse. HyperCharge is an anomaly in the YouTube scene because not only has my financial independence allowed me to release my own genuine opinions on these matters, but also because I honestly just didn't give a shit about whether or not I became a quote-unquote YouTuber. Because of this, HyperCharge is a pretty polarizing channel that has garnered a very tight-knit fan base who appreciates everything I do. It's why my most disliked video of all time still ended up doubling my subscriber count as a result, because despite a lot of people not liking my videos, there's still a sizable chunk of people who find my channel who end up fucking loving my videos, because HyperCharge as a YouTube channel just operates on a completely different wavelength than all these other channels on the website. And the reason that's the case is because honestly, my approach to YouTube is frankly self-destructive and unsustainable. At the end of the day, the reason no one else operates a YouTube channel like this is because despite my videos being fucking hilarious, they are completely unmarketable and not profitable. You see, making great videos and being a great YouTuber are really two entirely separate things. One aspect revolves around being creative, while the other aspect revolves around being a good business person. You see, YouTubers who do this shit for a living approach video making from an entirely different perspective. And when you have a giant team of employees and editors who have families to feed, you just don't have the privilege to take creative risks and go fucking crazy the way I do. The videos you make as a good YouTuber have to be easily marketable and unoffensive so you can get ad sponsorships. You have to create consistent formats that are easily reproducible and put out weekly uploads that are just entertaining enough to keep people watching. You have to make bold and exciting videos no one has ever seen before, but you also can't rock the boat or do anything to piss people off. And you also have to do all these goofy tricks to game the system by deep diving into the analytics and observing the viewer retention and begging people to like and subscribe your videos to artificially engage with the algorithm, because somewhere along the line YouTubers discovered that human psychology will cause more people to like and subscribe your videos when you literally ask them to do it, so now everyone does it. Meanwhile, I don't do any of that shit. All of my videos effectively make no money. Over the course of 10 years, I've made about a week's worth of minimum wage working at Taco Bell. Companies like BetterHelp are not going to sponsor my Animal Crossing retrospective. I don't even have a business email linked to my YouTube channel, okay? I don't want to do fucking ad sponsorships, okay? I don't want to fucking talk to these people, alright? DMs on Twitter are fucking closed. If you want to like my videos and subscribe to the channel, you're a fucking adult, you can figure it out. I don't even use the built-in end cards to promote my videos. I just put my brand on screen and play the Game Boy sound effect for a millisecond and fucking leave. Now, obviously this is really stupid in retrospect because I'm effectively just fucking myself over for no reason. But even despite all this, I still enjoy the process of making my videos, forging my own path out of spite and trying to force the growth of my channel despite the colossal odds of the universe stacked against me. As a result of the past decade of taking this brute force approach to YouTube, I have garnered a very small YouTube channel of about 10,000 subscribers comprised of people who fucking love watching my videos. And despite how difficult I've made this on myself, my subscribers also enjoy watching the train wreck and are rooting for my success, which I do really appreciate. However, just because I'm purposely being stupid doesn't mean I'm dumb. If I wanted to become a good YouTuber and had the goal of making HyperCharge a successful YouTube channel, I do know all the right steps that I should have taken in the past. Ultimately, if there's anything that's kept my channel from being successful, it's mainly because I spend way too much time working on videos between uploads, and when those videos are eventually released, they are either too controversial to put an ad sponsorship on, or just aren't popular enough to generate enough ad revenue. At the end of the day, if I truly wanted to take the cynical, soulless, Mr. Beast, MatPat type approach to making YouTube videos, I already know the changes I would have to make. I would have to spend way less time editing videos, I would probably have to hire some editors and lose a bit of creative control, I would have to make way shorter videos, no more fun Nintendrones, I'd have to make more retrospectives on a daily basis that have nothing interesting to say, where all I would do is praise every single game in the series and be a fanboy to not offend anyone. I would have to effectively dump Uncivil Synopsis altogether, maybe restructure it so I don't swear at all to keep things monetizable, maybe turn it into one of those easily replicatable, generic this game explained type shit where I'm like on a green screen doing wacky stuff. I'd have to figure out a way to make videos I could release on a weekly basis and essentially do the same thing I'm already doing, but just in a much more boring cookie cutter type formula that is mainly just used as filler content to trick people into watching a bunch of built-in sponsored ad segments that everyone will just skip over anyways. So with all that said, despite me knowing what to do and knowing the path I would have to take to make this work as a financially stable YouTube channel, I still don't want to do it. And let's be honest, you guys don't want to watch me make those kinds of videos either. So now we're all sort of at an impasse. The growth of HyperCharge is effectively stunted due to my style of videos essentially making no money, and I also don't have enough time in the day to make these kinds of lengthy videos consistently enough to make this happen in my free time because I have to financially support the YouTube channel by working a full-time job. I mean, how is HyperCharge going to be successful when the entire foundation for the YouTube channel and everything we love about it is basically destined for failure? What are we going to do? Well, the answer is pretty obvious, and a lot of people have already figured this out. So the time has finally come to start putting these things into motion. So to mark off the 10th anniversary of the YouTube channel and usher in a new era of HyperCharge, I am proud to announce that I'm finally starting a Patreon. So to put this into perspective, the main reason I enjoy making videos is having the freedom to cover any topics I want and present my own genuine opinions. And in order to maintain the channel as it currently exists and continue putting out more videos, Patreon is the only path forward. Now, the biggest obstacle to making HyperCharge videos is time. While making HyperCharge doesn't necessarily require a budget to make videos, I've effectively been running this entire channel with what little remaining free time I have away from my full-time job. So the immediate solution to putting out HyperCharge videos faster is instead of spending 10 hours a day commuting back and forth and working at a job to earn enough money to live my life, I could instead use a crowdsourced pool of income created by the Patreon, combined with whatever money I end up with on YouTube, to eventually cover all of my daily expenses and work on HyperCharge videos full time. This is the ultimate goal of the Patreon. Now, because people love my videos, I've been asked to start a Patreon for many years now, and honestly, I was a bit opposed to it back in the day. After all, for the majority of my time on YouTube, I was making all of my videos living in a small family home with my parents. While this didn't necessarily impact the writing and editing process for HyperCharge, the voiceover work was the biggest hurdle, mainly because I couldn't record my voiceovers while my family was at home. Now, while my family didn't necessarily care, the quality of the recording sessions I would attempt to do while my family was home were dramatically worse as a result. So after a certain point, I realized that in order to get the best results and put out better videos, it required me to schedule out recording sessions during very specific times of the day while the house was empty. And while this improved the videos over time and helped me make some of the best videos on the channel, it also caused a lot of delays that really shouldn't have existed. So even if viewers were giving me some additional money to support HyperCharge back in the day, I felt like I wasn't in the position yet to take your guys' money when it wouldn't have made much of a difference. So with all that said, why am I starting a Patreon now? Well, for the past couple of months, I've finally moved out of my parents' place and moved into my own personal one-bedroom apartment all by myself. And this change in my life has given me a lot more opportunities to work on some new projects. Now that I have my own place, the pointless delays in voiceover recording sessions are no longer an issue for the main channel, and I'm now confident enough to finally start committing to doing more things in between uploads that would hopefully justify the Patreon's existence. Starting things off, I want to finally start live streaming myself playing games. I've already been playing tons of games that don't get turned into HyperCharge videos already, but now that I've finally got my own place away from my family, I feel a lot more comfortable live streaming without family members bursting into my room or causing too much noise. I've got an old Twitch account that I'm planning on dusting off and using to live stream myself playing games, and on top of this, I'm also planning on quickly editing together some condensed highlights of my live streams and uploading them onto my new second channel, which will be the home to all of my live streaming content and a future dumping grounds for whatever Patreon content I decide to make in the future. The second channel and my Twitch account are both under the HyperCharge Sam naming convention that I use on basically every other website besides YouTube, which I am cleverly using to help min-max my search engine optimization. I'm also creating a Patreon exclusive Discord server that we can all hang out in together and talk about random shit. And I'm also planning on using the Discord server as a place to coordinate playing video games with the community during certain live streams. For example, if I'm playing Mario Kart 8 on a live stream or something, I could end up grabbing friend codes from the Discord server and then we could all play Mario Kart 8 together. Sort of just a basic example of what I'm thinking of. Overall, the Patreon Discord is an easy, low-effort thing I can do to build up the community. Using it in tandem with live streaming will be a lot of fun, and having it behind a paywall also allows me to actually moderate it more effectively. As far as the pricing is concerned, if you spend $5 a month on Patreon, you can get access to the Discord server and everything exclusive to the Patreon page in the future. I'm also adding an additional $10 tier that will also give you access to the Discord voice channels as the one and only additional perk. Now, to be completely transparent with you guys, I'm not planning on talking a lot in the Discord voice channels and will mostly be chatting through text. I'll probably only come in for a pre-scheduled event like a watch party for a Nintendo Direct or something similar like that, so if you're planning on paying for the $10 Patreon tier, please don't expect me to talk to you every single day. Now, to be completely honest, because time is still a big concern for me for making HyperCharge videos in this transitionary period in my creative journey, I don't think putting in a ton of effort into making high quality videos exclusive to the Patreon would be the most effective way to use my time. So with all that said, anything that would be exclusive to the Patreon would probably be fairly simple and relatively low effort. For now, I'm planning on using the Patreon to experiment with some new formats and possibly put out some fun quick videos that hopefully you guys will find entertaining. And I'm very open to getting your guys' input on the types of things you'd like to see moving forward. I'm planning on adapting and adjusting the Patreon and Discord to whatever you guys think is good, so this will very much be a work in progress as we move along into the future. Overall, the goal of all these new projects is not only to provide an easier, low-effort method to provide some additional content for you guys in between HyperCharge videos, but to also create additional sources of income that I can use in tandem with Patreon that can be funneled into a monthly source of income that would allow me to pivot away from my job and start working on the main channel full time. So to sort of put this in perspective for you guys, things aren't going to change overnight. Maybe in a perfect world, I would immediately get a full-time monthly salary on Patreon alone, but in reality, this is going to be a very long process over many years before I can even consider transitioning to doing YouTube as a full-time job, and even then, it's not guaranteed. At the end of the day, the Patreon won't be the end-all be-all solution, but rather one of the many tools in my belt alongside other smaller projects that will hopefully build the foundation for a stable income that I can use to justify working on HyperCharge full-time. In the meantime, because I'm living in my own one-bedroom apartment, most of the Patreon money will be going directly towards paying down my monthly rent, which will hopefully make the overall cost of living on my own a bit more sustainable moving forward. And because one of the biggest hurdles of making HyperCharge videos back in the day was waiting for the opportunity to finish my voiceover recordings, I feel a lot more comfortable creating the Patreon because the money will actually be going towards something that will improve my workflow and allow me to put out more stuff. In the meantime, nothing about the HyperCharge main channel is going to change. I will continue working on HyperCharge as I've always done, and I want to remind everyone that the ultimate goal of the Patreon is to continue keeping the channel the same as it's always been. Now, I'm sure some people are a bit skeptical about this, so to preemptively prove my point on how much more efficient I am while living on my own, I decided to do something very special for the 10th anniversary of this channel. In the span of about 2 weeks, I decided to dedicate a couple of hours a day to sitting down and recording some behind-the-scenes commentary tracks for every single video I have ever made in the past 10 years. I'm calling these behind-the-scenes commentary tracks HyperCharge New Game Plus. It's over 24 hours of additional HyperCharge content. It's a completely brand new way to rewatch all of my videos where I sit down alongside you guys and watch all of my old videos in real time, and the entire thing is currently uploaded on the second channel right now, completely for free. Each part of the commentary tracks are broken up into different parts based on the videos I'm watching, and I recommend checking out the playlist to watch these commentary tracks in chronological order. I talk about all the videos I love, the videos I hate, and I even talk about a ton of incredibly controversial stuff that I ended up cutting out of videos post-upload. And in the spirit of the channel, I do not hold back any of my personal thoughts, and things get fucking real. The HyperCharge New Game Plus commentary tracks are now on the second channel. Every video is now uploaded. You can binge watch the whole thing right now. Alright, so in conclusion, we're starting the HyperCharge Patreon, we're starting the Patreon Discord community, we're starting to live stream on Twitch, we're starting a second channel that will feature live streaming content and some Patreon content in the future. And we now got an additional over 24 hours of behind the scenes commentary tracks on every single HyperCharge video ever made uploaded to the second channel right now, and the main channel will continue operating exactly as it's always been. Alright, the Switch video is in the fucking works. So with all that said, I'm gonna end this 10th anniversary video on a final note. You know, because everyone always says, hey Sam, you're my favorite YouTuber. You make the best videos. These videos are the hypest shit. I love HyperCharge. We all love HyperCharge. And you know what? I don't believe you guys. You guys are full of fucking shit. So I'm gonna put up this Patreon as a test of your resolve and determination. All right, the power is in your hands. If you want HyperCharge to continue as is, then you better put your fucking money where your mouth is and donate to the goddamn Patreon. I'm going all in on this shit. I'm gonna bust my ass doing live streams in the second channel, all this extra Patreon shit, and continue making HyperCharge videos as is. All right, the first 10 years of HyperCharge, that was just for fun, all right? I was just fucking around back then, all right? The first 10 years of HyperCharge was just a hobby. All right, the next 10 years of HyperCharge is where I actually fucking try. Shit's about to pop the fuck off, and you better be here to witness it.